best cappuccino at home. And then in about 15 minutes, I have to go to the train station because I'm going to Südtirol. Are you ready for a little room tour? I gotta say, this is probably one of the nicest hotel rooms I've ever been to. So we start with a little garderobe, I would call it. Then the bathroom, which is also very aesthetic pleasing. Then the bed, which is, yes, it's comfortable. Then we have a little living room area. And now, are you ready? I can't wait until the clouds are gone, but there's snow on the mountains. My breath is taken. But this hotel is completely vegan, so I cannot wait to get outside and go for hikes and runs and whatever. And I also cannot wait to try the food here, the dinner, the breakfast. My plan for now is to go for a little walk to check out the surroundings and potential running trails. And we are on I think 2,000 meters altitude, so I think this is good for the marathon prep as well. And yeah, so far I don't feel anything yet, but we'll see. Hello. Then it was time for my first ever 5-course dinner, which also happened to be completely vegan. The starter of the starter was a very special onion ring, which honestly blew me away. Crunchy on the outside, filled with a soft onion cream. Wow! Of course, I also had to try their excellent olive oil and bread, because I'm German and I love me some good bread. Then the actual starter was a smoked gazpacho with caro bread, leek hay and olive powder. All components just complemented each other so well, and if there wasn't 3 more courses to come, I would have taken some more of it. Next up we had daikon tagliatelle, which were more like a salad with a pine nut cream. I've never had something like that before. And a super crispy enoki mushroom. But the absolute umami highlight was about to come, the ramen. I really don't know how they made it, but the broth was so freaking flavorsome, the homemade noodles perfectly chewy, and I just completely loved it. You know, I'm a dessert person, so I was really happy about the little milk rice situation we got at the end. I guess it's a new interpretation of a classic milk rice, but it came with apples and ice cream. And overall, I would rate the entire menu experience that night a solid 9 out of 10. Honestly, some of the best food I have ever had. Good night. Let's go for a run. Good morning.
It's a beautiful day at the beach. I was losing my mind for about a week until I could call you home. I'll meet you at the waterline. Birds are flying.
It is time for breakfast. Woohoo! I just got ready, showered, feeling fresh, and now I'm excited for the vegan breakfast buffet. Let's check it out. Don't let me get started on this breakfast buffet. They had everything from sweet to salty, of course, also everything in vegan. They had scrambled tofu, they had pancakes, chia pudding, baked goods, cereal, different spreads, sweet spreads, salty spreads, an excellent cappuccino, or how I like to call it, cappuccino. And I got a very mixed plate with some good bread, some hummus, some scrambled tofu. Of course, if there are good pancakes, I gotta try them. And I drizzled some maple syrup on top, and of course I also had a nectarine, or I think it was peach, because peaches in Italy just hit completely different, and everything was so delicious. And at the very end, I went to the buffet and mopsed myself a little pain au chocolat for later, because it just smiled at me, you know. Breakfast was super delicious. Oops. And now I'm gonna cleanse myself right there and get some work on my computer done.
Just tell me your dreams, the things you like. What turns you off, what makes you down. I'll tell you my deepest secrets. I wanna let them out.
Yeah, it's time for a little excursion in the Dolomites, and you can definitely feel that the air is getting a little thinner up here. It's a bit more exhausting, but we've got food for fuel.
Sometimes I feel my heart is there.
Hello. May I present you? We've got this looks like a bowl with rice, different biscotti, a peach, and pera. I think this is pear juice. But the most beautiful thing is the view. Something completely else. So juicy. I tell you, mountain air makes me really hungry, so it's time to taste test the pain au chocolat I have gemopst. Of course it's vegan, and it's been so long since I had the last proper pain au chocolat. It's like a mix between a brioche and pastry dough. Didn't expect it to be that good, honestly. Then I was invited to help in the hotel kitchen, where each day they cook up an incredible 5-course menu, of course all vegan, which is created by the executive chef Angeliki Karami. She's Greek, which is mirrored in some dishes. I was allowed to go through the making process of one course from that day. The sous chef Ilias introduced me to how they work in the kitchen, and then it was time to prepare a pie from wild greens with a feta cracker and feta foam topped with herb oil. This entire dish is inspired by the Greek spanakopita, which is a crispy phyllo pastry with a herby spinach feta filling. It was super interesting to see how real pro chefs approach cooking and recipes. For example, in this case, the feta cracker were made out of a base of rice and vegan feta, which then gets dehydrated and lastly fried for a few seconds. The spinach herb mix comes on top of the vegan feta foam, and then the crackers are stacked like a mountain, so each bite has a crunchy, creamy, and tender element, which made this little dish so delicious. It's dinner time again. Ich glaube, heute hole ich mir mal was anderes als Wasser.
Mürbeteig von der Mandel, Zwiebel, Blumenkohl und Kraut.
Or a little bite. I feel so fancy here. So good. Wow. A starter. Pumpkin soup with orange, sage, kale, and beetroot miso chips. Even better with bread. This is pie from white creams with feta tweed and feta foam, what I made earlier. Now the question is, does it taste as good as my creation? Mine was better. Of course not. That's allowed. And that's allowed. This is a beetroot risotto, and this is almond soil. Every course itself is so delicious. Very good. There's always room for dessert, and this is a vegan panna cotta. Ooh, with pistachio crumble. Perfect bite. Here's how to eat vegan easy. You take it. it is already the last day here, and maybe you can see it, I got a little bit of a sunburn. Yeah, I didn't put on sunscreen. I know it's my fault. Anyways, it's already the last day here. Tomorrow we'll move a bit lower in altitude to Naturno. So really gonna enjoy this day in the mountains today. Even though it's a bit cloudy. First breakfast. I'm really gonna miss this breakfast buffet. The scrambled tofu, the bread, also the pretzels were really good. And I'm saying that as a pretzel connoisseur. I also love the pancakes with a hazelnut praline spread. That was just on point. And just all in all, really good and gave me some good energy after my morning run to get some computer work done. It's time for a little lunch hike and the sun is coming out a little bit. So let's explore some more mountains and nature. Hiking means it's time for another vegan pastry test. And as I showed you, today I have mopsed this cornetto with pastry filling, I guess. Whew. First I will try some of the cream. Vanilla and some lemon, I think. Wow. I can't believe it's vegan. The time has come, our last vegan 5-course dinner, and it started with a charcoal cracker with fermented vegan cheese. Then continued with a creamy bell pepper soup and a smoked eggplant, which was absolutely mind-blowing. I don't know what they did to this eggplant, but it was banging. And then my favorite main course of these 3 days, a Jerusalem artichoke risotto topped with truffle and beetroot soil. Yes, you heard right, that sounds fancy, and it tasted absolutely fancy. The flavors in this were on point. The texture was creamy yet tender due to the Jerusalem artichoke, and I just loved it. Next was some sort of carrot lox, which was rolled in nori leaves for the fishy flavor and served on fava bean foam. And last but not least, we were served a lovely dessert, a poached pear with hazelnut ice cream and pistachio croquette. I don't know. Honestly, these 3 days were food-wise and landscape-wise an absolute paradise. Alright, these were some beautiful and very delicious days here. I'm super tired now, gonna go to bed, and we see each other in the next vlog in Naturno. See you!